right, welcome to Stampscaping 101. We're going to try something a little bit different here. It's always the same kind of basic concept, but the I don't know, whatever, the application is going to be slightly different here. And it's based on something that I just saw on Pinterest in terms of the Chinese ink painting styles. All right. And all right. So what we're doing is we're going with almost a half page scene. I'll put the dimensions of this type of paper in the description section. And I'm going to be stamping out my imagery for the most part with StazOn ink. And we're going to see what we can do with some watercolor pencils. Okay. Never used them before. We'll see what we can do with them in the first try here. I know the general concept that I'm going for. Let's see if I can implement that which I have in my mind, which isn't, a super firm kind of vision, but just kind of the general take on this type of, I don't know, whatever, look concept here. All right, and I'm stamping these in the StazOn because when I do that watercolor type of effect with these, I want these images to stay largely intact. I guess we can use an oil-based VersaFine Clear too, and that would be fine, I'm guessing. But I think it's just better to start off with just something that's going to be completely impervious to, I don't know, whatever a water influence here. All right, since I'm doing these in StazOn, why don't I just clean off this right away. Sometimes I don't clean off the StazOn right away, and I do find that it comes right off the 100% red rubber with no problem. I'm not using a StazOn cleaner on my stamps either, and it comes off, no problem. But even if you don't take it off right away, you can kind of scrub it off with no problem. Okay, so that is the Mystic Trees left. Let's go with the Mystic Trees right. Or we can go with the other hills. Let's see, for a little bit more distance. Maybe let's go with a little bit more distant figure here. Okay. I'm coming up with the I don't know, whatever the structural concept here on the fly, so bear with me here. All right, coming in like that. All right. Okay, coming in over here. Going higher up on the composition makes something look farther back in the distance. Okay, let's go like that here. All right. And let's go ahead and utilize the the left side Mystic Hills. That was Mystic Hills. Right, this is Mystic Hills left right here. Okay. I'm going to do something though on this one. I think I'm going to lightly, I got to do this quick with StazOn. I'm going to lightly dab off the bottom portion of this so that it stamps out a little bit lighter where I'm overlapping this image. Okay, just so it stamps out a little bit drier and thus a little bit lighter as a result. Okay, let's go like that. Let's create this little passageway here. I just have a little bit of water on this paper towel. Okay, and let's see. Let's go with some of the Mystic Mountain mountains here. Right here, and these will be in the background here. Let's see, I wanted to use a quote stamp too, so let's not fill up that area too much. Let's go. I can also use the smaller one too, but let's just go with the larger one, I think. That'll fill in the space very quickly. Okay, and we'll go roughly about here. The good thing about these mountains, I mean, you could make a shoreline, you know, in the far area, but it's supposed to be kind of like going into the mist and into the clouds, so you don't have to really do that. You don't have to really fill things in quite as much with this series. I mean, you could, but you know, things are just kind of designed to be to look a certain way. Okay, so those hills like that. All right. Now let's see. I'm going to put this music and the soul can be heard by the universe right there, I think. Hopefully this is a, you know, I don't know, you know, fairly quick card. I can't imagine it taking too long with the amount of media that we're going to be applying to this, which is, I don't know, it's kind of minimal. But I haven't used, you know, a lot of the materials or techniques that I'm going to be utilizing here, so we'll see. Okay, so let's go with, okay, I'm going to have this sun here. I kind of laugh about that because I'm just, you know, I'm not sure how that's going to go because, like I said, I haven't done it before, so we'll see. All right, we have this little sailboat here. That'll be a kind of a key little element in here. All right. As a kind of a visual focal point. Let me get my bearings here. Oops, I'm using my VersaFine Claire, or what am I doing? Like I said, I think we could use it, but let's go with the stays on. This is the little fishing boat with sail. I don't know if it's the first time I've used it or what. I think it is. There's a lot of firsts in the latest videos, aren't there? All right, so there we have it. A stays on kind of foundation for our other elements to come. I look forward to that. All right, now let's see. I'm trying to get my bearings here in terms of what I have space for and what I'm going to be adding into the scene. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, hopefully this looks pretty cool, because what I'm going to be trying to do, it looks cool in the sample scenes that I've seen, paintings usually, is I'm going to take and I'm going to make a sun in the background. We're just going to do it with the standard hole punch type of, you know, application here. Let's see, make sure I have room for my little quote, not boat. And let's put a sun right there, okay? Now, I'm going to do it with dye-based inks here, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of a kind of a cool looking transition in there, okay? So this is really going to stand out, but it's, you know, it's kind of supposed to in this format. I'm going to go with a little bit of a red here, and we'll go for a kind of a transitioning sun in our graphic arts class in high school. We learned it was called a split fountain, you know, and you're kind of, you know, have multiple colors going across a given plane, I guess. And you just transition the colors in a kind of a rainbow format, I guess, using whatever colors you want. That was yellow there, kind of a brilliant yellow, orangish yellow. And now let's go with a red. Let's see, do we go with the red, the darker color on top and the lighter on the bottom? Yeah, I think that's the way it goes. I'm going to make sure that I don't kind of take this and go up into off the top of the page there, so just be careful with that. I'm saying it here, but to you, but I'm really saying it to myself. Okay, and this is a deeper red right here, okay? So I'll go with a little bit of a streak up here, like so, and yeah, try to create a nice transition down below. Something like that. Is that dark enough? I think that's dark enough. We'll see. I guess we can always add more. I'll keep my sun right here. And all right, so watercolor pencils. Let's see what we can do with these here. All right. Now, you know, I said I've never used these before. Some people say, hey, you know, if it comes out okay, people will say, oh, you know, you're saying that, but that looks like a brand new set to me. I've had this for years and years and years. I've never used them, and I've never used any other ones as far as I can remember, so I'm just using the black one here, and we're just going for gray tones. Does this have a gray in it, though? I guess it does. I'll leave this one out just in case. Let's see. I think I can just use the black. These are Derwent's watercolor. Glad to finally use these. All right, so I'm going to try to model my forms a little bit, okay? Now, this is going to be confusing for a lot of people. It's like, where do you shade things, okay? Well, in this one, we're going to have like these clouds coming from the base of these objects. So it's kind of working in reverse a lot of times from what we would normally think to do. You know, we would have lighting coming from above, so you'd kind of shade the base of things and have it a little bit lighter at the peaks, right? But on this way, it's working a little bit different. And in some ways, it's like kind of working a little bit easier in some ways because, you know, you can kind of just shade all these areas in like this, you know, just right from the top down because these things are open on the bottom anyway. So, I don't know, it just makes for kind of an easy application. Now, I'm guessing that we don't have to be like really smooth with this application. I'm wondering if I need to go, you know, tone it in first with like some dye-based inks or something like that, just to make things look a little bit darker. Which is, I guess, is something that we can always do later on. After I add the water to this and kind of blend it out a little bit, if we even do that at all. I think I want to, though, because I just want to test out that kind of, I don't know, whatever process here. But I'm looking to see how dark this is getting. I completely forgot what I was talking about here. But yeah. I mean, you can just kind of tone things in like that and just give it a little bit more body and whatnot. See, I'm normally adding in like lighting on this. Like lighting would be reflected off of these mountains here, but I'm not doing it in this kind of a format here. Okay. So I'm having to, I don't know, I guess kind of forget, or I'm working against my I don't know, my kind of inclinations, aesthetic inclinations or whatever, everything that I've kind of, or not everything, but a lot of things that I've come to, employ in my processes is here. So right now, too, I'm going a little bit darker than what I would normally do, just because I'm guessing that when I add water to this and kind of paint it a little bit to go for that nice watercolory effect, I'm going to have some media built up there in order to kind of pull it down, and kind of blend it out a little bit. And it's already looking kind of interesting, I think. I'm not someone that's really terribly comfortable with working with paintbrushes either, okay? I've taken painting classes and whatnot, in school. Um, I had to take, beginning painting. I don't remember the intermediate painting class, but advanced oil paints, stuff like that, But we're talking about, you know, a few months of practice, all told, a couple semesters, and then not doing it again for like the last, I don't know, whatever, 30 some odd years. And I'm not really a watercolorist or anything like that either, so I love the look. And, I guess sometimes I wished I had kind of the facilities for, doing oils. Oil painting, you really have to have kind of an area designated for it. There's all the smells of the oil and turpentine that you have to have. You have to keep your rags in like a, designated area that's, it's going to be contained and there's not going to be like fumes everywhere, stuff like that, oily rags and solvent, soaked rags and stuff like that. So that's why I never really did a lot of painting again. I wasn't really good at it either, though. I was more of a hard, medium type of guy, pen and ink work, and stuff like that. Okay, let's see. I'm going to see where this one's. I'm adding in a little or tone, but not adding it too much behind this tree, just so we can kind of maintain the silhouette of this treetop here a little bit more, by not making it so dark behind it. Okay, let's go into this tree line here, or underneath the tree line, I guess. And let's add a little bit of shading, I guess, right at the base of this. I'll try to blend that out with a little bit of a slightly graceful water application. We'll see how that goes. With a little bit of gracefulness that has an asterisk next to it. That's graceful for me with paints. We'll see how it goes. All right, see down here in this water too, you're gonna treat this kind of boat in a similar way, maybe. I hope age doesn't change the medium of these watercolors and they're still soluble. I'm kind of halfway joking, I'm sure it's fine, but You never know when when something's been sitting around for so long. I mean, we're talking. I don't know when I got this set. It might be 20 years. Maybe someone can, recognize. Maybe the packaging's different now. I'm not sure. All right. So, anyways, see that right there? And that in itself kind of looks reasonably interesting, I think, in terms of a general type of look. I'm trying to keep the little shadows in here roughly, kind of horizontal. Okay, now I am putting a little bit of shading behind this tree. I realize that now. I don't know, it looked like it needed to get anchored down a little bit. I think I'm getting a little bit more gutsy too with this pencil. I'm going a little bit darker now. I'm just kind of just getting used to it up here, getting the feel for it. Okay, I think I'm getting some pencil everywhere here too. I should get like a little bit of an eraser up here and erase that off. But let's see how this goes. Okay, so I'm going to take my paintbrush. I'm usually using this side to mix up my opaque white, my bleed-proof white. But okay, let's see. I had a palette here somewhere. I think I've just used inks in this before. All right. Get a little bit of water on this right here. I don't want to go too wet. I think it's best for me to keep this fairly controlled, whatever that means, if I can be. And let's go into this right here. Okay, that's really getting kind of watery. Okay, so that's a little bit more water than I wanted. But let's go into the formations. We'll see if we can get kind of a watercolory look in here, okay? Let's go a little bit drier here, especially down in this lower section where it transitions from dark to light, basically. Kind of feeling my way through here. Okay, I'm going for that. I really want to go fairly light down there. It's getting pretty dark. Here, I'll do it. I'm finding that the dry brush type of technique works pretty well. Go on here like this and just kind of transition it down a little bit. And then kind of wipe it off and use the drier version of it in the lower sections maybe. Or maybe I have a little bit of residual water on here. I can come down here a little bit maybe. Well, I guess what I'm going for, in a little bit of a way here, is I want these forms to almost look like they've been created via, with watercolors. And, my kind of inabilities here will be hopefully masked with the use of white pigment ink that I'm going to be employing here. Here's what I'm doing here too. I'm taking a wet and I'm going from the bottom and just kind of working my way up like that. So that seems to be good. Instead of my working from dark down, I'm working light up. That looks like a little bit of a better technique here. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so work it in from the light into the dark like this. Oh, it's dragging out too much of the dark into the light, I guess. That's what I'm going right there for that real watercolory look. I do love watercolors are some of my favorite types of paintings or drawings. You know, like watercolor sketches. I really love, like the California Impressionists. Not really their full paintings, although I do like those too. But it was kind of their watercolor sketches. Getting their impressions from the field. Um, I always liked like little quick sketches, very gestural. Okay. Hey, I don't know if we were to analyze it psychologically. My designs are very tight and, you know, detailed, precision. I try to make, have a fluidity to them, but just by the nature of drawing with a mechanical, pencil, and technical pens, to render my designs. That's not, something that's going to be, you know, spontaneous at all. It's like the opposite of spontaneity almost. So I don't know. Maybe I really like that and admire it in those that do those types of you know drawings and paintings and are good at it. Watercolorists especially. I really love the types of things they do and the look of it. It's not looking too bad, I think. For that, it looks kind of like a painting, a watercolor painting, I think, in some ways. Because I guess, part of it is. Let's see if I can get a little more of a kind of transitions up here. I'm learning how to use, I guess right here as I'm doing this, I'm learning how to use kind of a dry brush a little bit more. I think that should do it there. I don't know. Not too bad, I guess, like that. In terms of, I don't know, I guess what I'm referencing in my head and, in terms of what I saw, I'm not looking at something like immediate, like at the moment, but from what I saw earlier today. Okay, so let's see. I think the music and the soul can be heard by the universe. I think I want to use that quote. I think that would be kind of cool. Plus, it's by this, I don't know what they are. Probably a philosopher or something like that. Lao Tzu, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm probably butchering it in terms of the inflection, but okay, let's see here. Right, see if I can get that on straight. Hopefully I can. And then we'll stamp this. I could have stamped it out earlier, but I don't know. Sometimes I don't know the word stamps and stuff. Sometimes I think I should wait. Okay, good. Sometimes you have to learn where to put the pressure on certain stamps, you know. On those two, I wasn't pressing on the B enough. Okay. How's that? It seems like it makes a pretty graphic statement. Isn't that sun kind of cool in there? Not my idea. You know, just traditional. I saw it on a lot of paintings doing this, you know, soul spot color type of sun in there. And it's probably a good idea to do a little bit of a transitioning, I guess, in there. Just for a little bit more visual interest than just a red dot. Although that might be kind of cool too, now that you think about it. I don't know. All right, this little bit of the tiny rocks. I'm going to put some of these down here just for a little bit more texture in that water area. Well, about like so. I don't know if you can see it down there. Really small little touches like that. 329A. Tiny rocks small. They'll give your pieces some good textural, some kind of foundation and balance. And believe it or not, I spent a lot of time working on those little rocks like that, getting them just right. You know, because just look at it, you have to kind of design them where they're going to be used in repetition, not just, you know, looking at them as is. They have to look good, you know, with how they stamp out and, you know, multiple times. Okay, grab your white pigment ink and use any brand you want, especially on this type of, you know, matte cardstock like this. This one's a semi-gloss cardstock, but it's very matte in, you know, feel and surface. It just has a little bit of a coating on it. Okay, so from this, I mean, it looks like you can just keep it as is. I think that'd be kind of cool as is, but let's kind of enhance this idea of this transitioning tone going from dark to light like this with a little bit of this cloud, misty type of, whatever, characteristic, okay? So everything transitions off really nice, but you see that tone in there like that? Look at how that looks much more misty than over here, okay? I don't know about much mistier, but, you know, a decent amount. Okay, and you add a lot of it kind of in your area down here, but then just transition it a little bit. When you go up here a little bit, kind of use a little bit less pressure. Especially if you're going, you know, kind of judge how, you know, wet your white pad is, okay? Like so. All right, look at that. So you can see the difference between up there and down here, okay? If you want to add a little bit of, I got a little smudgies in my fingerprints. I think I can get that out with, you know, an eraser, because I think it's that colored pencil. I mean, you know, the watercolor pencil. I'll just put a few taps up there. Okay, now I'm going to put these trees in a little bit of this cloudy mist, you know. Look at that right there. See that? Just those little touches like that. Not completely necessary, but, you know, it's fun to do. It's certainly easy to do, and it adds in that little bit of a, you know, kind of added texture, and a, you know, because it's white, it's adding in that lighting, you know, like I always say. Kind of pushes depth a little bit too. Okay, and let's put it around our character too. Make sure you don't go over the whole thing too much. Okay, but see they're in a little bit of that fog as well. That cloudy kind of magical mist, we might call it even. Kind of building this up a little bit more in this lighter area here too. This pigment almost has a little bit of a temperature to it too. Maybe a Hero Arts or something like that. Unicorn white might be even better, but I think this looks okay too. See this mountain right here? I'll put a little bit right there, and it separates it from this one a little bit in terms of distance. Visual distance, that is. Okay, I think that should do it there. We're using some pretty fast drying inks here. We're using Stays On, and then the Brilliance White, that dries really fast. I'm going to wash my hands here a little bit, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this onto a piece of paper. I usually put a little white border around it, but then this one will just go with a dark single mount on here because this is so light. And, oh, let's see. This is one where I have this really dark blue, but it's almost black, but black would be perfect for this, like a black lacquer frame almost, in terms of the look of it. We'll see what we have. I also have a matte black too, but I think this is look a little bit better as a shiny one. All right, there we have it. I've formatted this. This is a really dark blue. I know it looks black here. I'm looking at my screen, it really looks black. But I put this little border of gold around there. That gold's really inexpensive. Packs of 60 for like full-size sheets for $17. So I think that added to it a lot. I've seen these black lacquer frames that have a little bit of a trim on it. I tried it without it. I thought it looked okay, but it looked a little bit minimal. So I thought that little bit of gold added a little bit of a kind of elegance to it. I mean, this is a really minimal looking type of application of whatever media surface combinations. So I thought that little bit of gold just did the trick right there. What do you think? But anyways, a pretty simple application here. You know, we're talking about I don't know, a half an hour type of project right here. I mean, it took a little bit longer. It's at the like 35-minute mark or something like that. But I was really, you know what I mean, trying to feel my way through some of that brush work in there using the watercolor pens. Now I know how to do it. And, you know, I would work it up, you know, from the base. I was working it down. It was like, you know, it was just too dark and whatnot. So I got these, you know, much better as I went along in here. I don't think, you know, if you haven't done that before, I don't think it would take you very long either. And then especially if you're, you know, if you've utilized them before, you're going to be a lot more accomplished at it and comfortable with that than I was. But I don't know, I really like this look right here. I think I'm going to finish off some of my other scenes that I already stamped out. They were stamped out, some of my stamp sketches were, I think they were all in dye-based inks, so I don't know. I'll approach it somehow. I'll see if I can get a little bit of watercoloring in there. I guess if some of the dyes go back into solution and kind of blend out a little bit, you know, I'll just utilize it in those tones right there. But really minimal types of applications here, and I think really quite dramatic. So yeah, I think this will be one of my favorite ways to utilize these different mystic imagery in here. So in scenes, and just go with that dark red dot like that. Or, you know, if we want to get crazy, we can do like a holographic sticker paper, you know, moon or sun or something like that. I think that would be really cool. Or we can do a scene like this that's pretty dark, and I have glow in the dark vinyl. I don't know if it's sticker paper. It might be though. And I can put like a glow in the dark moon or something like that, you know, reflecting off of the water. I think that might be kind of interesting. So anyways, hope you enjoyed the scene and entire technique and look of it. And if you do, hope you give it a try. Thanks so much for watching. If you like these videos, hope you like, share, and subscribe.